All right, welcome to another episode of Face the Truth. Still surviving this whole crazy crap, this Corona bullshit. Anyways, I'm not going to do too much of a long intro here. I want to just get into it and talk with this guy. I haven't seen him for maybe it's been 10 years or something like that. It's been a long time, but I've known him since I was 18, and I was just a little boy when I first met this guy. Super talented artist. The guy can draw. He's a graphic designer. He's also an actor. He's a musician. He's a dad. He's a cool dude. Super talented all around guy. And I just want to get into it. This is my guest this week, Noah Benjamin. So thank you so much for joining me, man.
Thanks for having me. That was quite an intro.
But yeah, man, it's been a while, dude. It's been a minute. It's been like, I don't even remember the last time, really, to be honest.
I didn't see you when I came back in 2015.
No, I don't think so.
Must have just missed
Is that when you came to record stuff with JD?
Yeah, we had been recording a little bit there. And
yeah. No, JD was letting me know and showing me some teasers and stuff. And I was like, damn, that's awesome.
Yeah,
yeah, that's cool,
good
man.
time. That was a good time.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see everybody, but
yeah, it's you're in LA now, right?
yeah.
So how's it been going with everything going on in the current sitch?
Well, I mean, same as anybody. Just holding up, trying to stay safe, keep the family safe. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
I think from what I can tell, Californians, or at least people around here, are taking it pretty seriously. So
yeah.
Hopefully we can just get through this thing, man, and get back out to where we can.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, here in Chicago, it's probably pretty similar, I would imagine. But like, I'm just waiting for that one day where things just kind of get a little bit too crazy. Like, I mean, Chicago. I mean, I'm sure in LA as well. Like, that's the one thing that's nerve-wracking is, like, when is it going to get too far where people start going crazy? That's one of the things that, like, I don't know if you've seen any, but I've talked about this before on a couple of my other podcasts. But just, whoa, what was that? Was that?
Sorry, that's my traffic.
Oh,
hopefully it doesn't ruin too much.
Oh no, that's fine. That's fine. It sounded like a spaceship just landed or something. Yeah. But like when this whole thing first went down, I remember just feeling like a little anxious and like, what? This is crazy. Like this, yeah. Nobody's experienced this before, this kind of a thing. And where I used to live in Rogers Park, I still live in Rogers Park, but I moved a little bit west. But where I used to live, there was shootings like every single day, and it was insane. And I started thinking in my head, if I was in that neighborhood right now, when this is going, like, I mean, imagine people are freaking out about toilet paper, like, dude. And so I went to Target and I bought a baseball bat.
Yeah.
like I was like, I don't have a gun. I don't have anything like that. But I was like, and it was just really funny because I just got done going to 2 different grocery stores to try to get a list of stuff my wife wanted me to get. And I couldn't get anything. Like nothing was like, it was like so much was just missing off the shelves. No toilet paper, no rice, no beans, just like no pasta, like everything was gone basically. So I went to another store. There was a few things. And then I'm like thinking, dude, what's going on? This is crazy. And I saw a Target and I was like, I'm going in there. I'm getting a baseball bat. Yeah, and I just went in there and and the weirdest thing was I'm just walking around Target with just a bat because I didn't need anything else from there. And I go up to the counter and there's a guy in front of me and he looks back at me with this weird look and I'm just holding this thing and I just said, I don't even play baseball. I was just like, I need something to feel. It's like my comfort blanket. Like at least, I've been watching too many Walking Dead episodes or something, but it's just such a weird time, man.
Right.
It's so like, nerve wracking. But I mean, I was seeing some of your Instagrams, which was really cool, is that, again, because I haven't seen you for years, but so it's really cool to just like jump back in and just watching you play your music. And see you playing like live on Instagram and stuff. It's so cool, man.
Yeah, that's been a cool experience. I haven't done it in the last week. I need to get back to it, but it's just a nice thing you can do with everybody hold up. Whether you're reaching 10, 20 people, doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It's like that human contact that we're so used to having that we don't have much of now. And even though it's digital and it's through this space, it's still personal. It's still personal, and it's still a way of like reaching out. And if somebody wants to watch it, they can watch it. If they don't, that's, no problem. But it's there for people to interact, and a lot of people have said a lot of nice things about it. And so it's a rewarding sort of thing to be able to like give back in this crazy time. And it's on a very like low production level, but it's still, it's like very, it's personal, and it's what you're feeling at the time, and you can talk and say how you like, oh, I had a bad day today, but I'm here and we're doing this thing, and today was great. Hope everybody else is, just a way to like communicate.
Yeah, it is pretty cool in this whole experience that everybody's experiencing it. Like everybody's going through it. It's not just, that's the thing that I find so ironic when I not to get crazy political, but like you can't help but like see, what people are saying on the left and people are saying on the right, and there's like this, there's a certain group of people that think there's like an agenda the whole time. And it's just like, this is happening because of the elections and all this, whatever. It's happening everywhere. This is not an American problem. This is everybody's problem.
We've gotten beyond that when you are basically, when you are close to having a 9/11 every day. Yeah. It's like, ridiculous. Like partisanship, whatever, be damned. Let's get back to healing each other and taking care of each other. Like that's the last thing we need right now is this massive separation. But it's hard when the leadership is the way it is, and they're pulling the moves that they're pulling. It's like, and to your point, what you said with people, like, what's the point? Yeah. What's the point that we're gonna get to before people start losing?
Because people go crazy. People start to go crazy. Yeah.
And so we get this, like, things like we get the stimulus check of $1,200 or whatever, and then they didn't put any clause in this thing that stops banks or debt people, collectors, from taking that $1,200 right out of your account. Yeah. When people can't eat, they can't work, they can't eat, and the measly $1,200 that they're getting can be taken away, I think you're going to reach that point pretty quickly. Because people need to feed their families. Yeah, and I don't know about you, but like I'm freelance, so I haven't gotten anything. And I heard that I'm basically at the bottom of the barrel, so we'll see how that works. I'm probably pretty close to the bottom of the barrel too. Yeah. But I know some people that have gotten it, and I'm like, yeah, no, I haven't gotten it yet. But it's like, it's intense, man, because like what you said, like every day is like a 9/11 in New York. I've got a lot of friends in New York, and I've got family in North Wisconsin who, I love them, but they're experiencing a completely different thing, and they have different kind of a viewpoint on the world and everything that it's hard for me to relate with. But at the same time, there's over 500 people dying every day just in New York City. Like, I mean, and here's the thing that's weird about it. Then you hear people talking about, oh, well, people die every day of the flu and the heart attacks and colds. And it's true. I don't know how many people normally die every day in New York because they don't ever blast it on the news. But they're blasting this, and it's alarming. You know what I mean? Like, okay. So yeah, all those deaths happen too. But these are reported deaths involving coronavirus. Yeah. So now it's on top of all those things that already happened. Yeah. So like, it's intense. It's like it's I don't know, man. It's weird. It's one of those things for me. I've been trying really hard to like, not. I don't know if you've done this, but like, I like the other day I just turned on the news because I just want to see. I just want to like, get a little update. Mm-hmm. And within a minute, I just had to turn it off. I just couldn't. It's like there's too much. Where it's like, man, I'm just gonna play with my little. I have a 2-year-old now. I'm just gonna play around, wrestle, and have some fun.
that's way more beneficial to me right now. You know, like to not.
Yeah, my fiance is the same way. She's like, I don't want to hear it, and not that she's like acting like it's not happening. It's just it's just tough to always be hearing that. For me, I approach it more of like as a writer, like. Yeah. I need information because I need to tell the truth at some point, which like I have material that I'm working on now that speaks to at least my point of view of a lot of the things that could have be handled better. But in my own way, obviously it's not very and they did this. No, it's
yeah. Well, that's what's cool too is like I know that you're a huge fan of Dylan and I remember years ago when I first started hearing your music, I always had that sense, a little bit of Dylan vibe in there with the writing and the music. And I think it's interesting because I always thought about Dylan, his first couple records were my favorite. And I thought about that time that like, oh, what an interesting time to be alive, to experience, even though there was a lot of bad things going on, but to be around that time and to experience that and to watch these artists emerge from that and come out with beautiful things. And that's kind of what I see happening now with a lot of things, a lot of artists and are you feeling
it's that pressure creates diamonds?
Yeah. Have you been like writing, how does your process work with your songwriting? Like if you get inspired by something like this that's going on, do you right away do you start with the lyrics or do you fiddle around and I don't know. There's so many different ways.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any like right way to do it. Sometimes the lyrics come very fast and easy, and sometimes it's like going to the dentist to get a couple lines out, but I think you strike while the iron's hot and ride the wave.
Yeah.
Obviously right now I feel like I'm like collecting information. I have music that I'm working on and I have beginnings of things, and now I just need the process of it like information germinating in me before I can before it goes to the next level of actually finishing. Yeah. Like I just finished a couple new ones. Well, 1.5 new ones. But
well, it's like kind of like sketching a little bit, like jotting down ideas and I don't know. I think I might have talked with you briefly about this before, but before all this crap started happening, I started doing stand up. Yeah. And so I start I write every day and try to come up with material and just different ideas.
Wait, I got to interrupt you for 1 second. Speaking of your stand up, you had posted something where you were doing it with some like Chicago pub. You got some slot, and I was like, oh man, it's gonna be great. I sat through that whole freaking video.
I know.
To find out that they didn't even put you. I was like, oh man.
It was funny. I kept having people writing me like, I'm like, I don't know, dude. I'm supposed to be like, and I'm waiting. And then there's that weird girl with the puppets. I'm like, what the fuck? And you know what, though, to be honest, I'm actually glad that it didn't work out, because after sitting through all that and watching, I was doing it to try to like help, raise money for them and everything.
Right.
But I was artistically and as a comic, I was like glad I didn't, because for one, my material isn't I don't know if it would have flown well with that crowd, because they were like, you got to keep it real clean. And I'm like, I don't really have much that's clean. Like, I mean, I'm not even talking swear words. I'm just talking concepts. Like, there's a lot of weird things I talk about, but then, so I'm like sitting there like getting nervous, like, oh man, this is the weirdest way to do stand up with no audience.
Yeah. Well, it's similar to a musician, right? Because we're sort of like get paid with applause in a way. Like, like that's how you. I mean, not that that's what it's about, but when you're performing for people, showing off your art, then that's kind of like the.
And like with comedy, like you write something and you've got like a certain setup, and you're expecting, to get to the next. You have to wait for that laugh. Yeah. To pay off and for the next part to even make sense. And so if there's no laughter there, it's kind of like, eh. But anyways, that was awkward. That was a really awkward thing, and I felt so bad because I had told all these people, and then they basically told me, oh yeah, sorry, we ran out of room. It's like, oh man, I was like, for 2.5 hours, I'm sitting there, just waiting, like
I'm gonna go on at some point.
Yeah, it was weird, man.
Put me in, coach.
Yeah, but like, I find like with this whole thing, I had a Comic-Con last week, and I was talking to him about this briefly, but is that like, I'm just getting into this, and I've been having a blast doing it, and I love it, and it's challenging. But like, I don't know when we're ever going to come back yet. I don't know how long this is going to go on, and it's going to be strange going back. But like, I don't want to jump back into doing that and just talk about Corona the whole time. Right. But I know it's on everybody's minds, and you got to address it. You got to talk about it. Yeah. And so like musically, I'm sure that, you know, if you're going to go someplace and perform, you know, you probably got to like address it a little bit. But I think it's different with the music because like what my job would be to do is to make people laugh and think about something and make them laugh. But like I would just like put a little pinch of Corona in there, just a little pinch. Yeah. Just take a little bit of that and suck it down. And then let's talk about, you know, rape and everything else. But like, like with a musician, you know, like first of all, did you? And this is, I know I'm kind of going all over the place, but have you heard the new Bob Dylan song that's like 17 minutes long?
There's one that just came out called "I Contain Multitudes," and then there's another one.
Oh, that's not the one. It's the one about JFK.
Yeah,
that's the one. I haven't gotten to hear the whole thing yet because I have teenage daughters, and I was like, oh, there's a new Bob Dylan song. And I start playing it, and we get into like 2 minutes, and I'm like just waiting, and I'm listening. It's like, you know, he was shot in the head on the road, you know, like all this it's going on, and I'm like
spoken word.
Yeah, and I'm trying to like I'm like listening to it, and it was only like 2 minutes, and my daughter goes, how long is this gonna be? And I looked at it and I go, oh, there's like 15 minutes left. And they're like, nope. So I didn't even get to finish it yet. But anyways, I guess what I was trying to say, though, is like with music, though, I think this is a perfect opportunity to like kind of I think that's a better art form in a way to kind of talk about what's going on, you know? I mean, a comedy as well. I just feel like it's going to be oversaturated. Like there's going to be too much. Like too many people are going to be talking about.
Yeah, you'll probably have to really dig deep for the comedy aspect of it to like get beyond all the cliche, the stuff that every comic's gonna be saying.
Yeah.
To find like that a way of talking about it that's different than anybody else.
Yeah, I try to mix it. I have been writing stuff, but I'm trying to mix it in weird ways. Yeah. So it's mentioned, but that's pretty much, you know. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be strange. And the other thing is I have my wife has been like really nice to let me go out. I mean, in order to do comedy stuff, you got to go out a few nights a week at least. Most people are going 5-6 nights a week. I can't do that. Yeah. But before this happened, I was going out 2-3 nights a week. She's going to bed around 8 or 9 with my 2-year-old anyways, and she's pregnant, so it's like perfect timing because I don't need to be around at that point. But now, like, we're about to have, I don't know if you knew this, but we're about to have another daughter in the beginning of July. So real soon.
Wow.
Daughter number 4.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's weird timing. But like, so I'm thinking like, whenever this comes back.
So you need that stimulus check.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I'm like, man, who knows when I'm going to get back and do that stuff. Right now, I'm just grateful to be able to do the art, you know, as much as possible. Because that's the main bread and butter anyways. But I think it's important, though, in times like these. Like, that's why I loved, you know, seeing your videos on Instagram and stuff. In a time like this, for us to be able to express ourselves. But it's the perfect timing in a way with the technology we have that we can just still, even though we're all isolated, we can still kind of connect.
Yeah.
Which is an awesome thing, you know?
Thank God for that, right?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
I think I was just saying that to somebody. Oh, a friend of mine. I was FaceTiming him. He was kind of going through a hard time, but I was FaceTiming him last night, just kind of talking things out with him.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about like being thankful for even the small things that we have, and I'm like, even the fact that we can have this conversation over FaceTime.
Yeah.
During a pandemic, we could still reach out and go face to face with people and talk is a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, I like, this is not even an exaggeration, but I mean, I remember, going back years ago when I first met you and I started working at a magazine that you were working at, I didn't even know how to turn on a computer, and I had no idea how to do any of that stuff. And because of my art skills, I guess people thought, oh, we could teach him how to do things. So I got to start to work with the magazine, and like you guys would all do like 30, 40, 50 pages or whatever of graphic design, and I would finish maybe 2 pages.
That's how we all started, though.
It took forever. But like
at that time, like that's when the computer layout was like just
like Quark Express or whatever.
I remember when because when I started there, we didn't have the computers. We were lining up with the blue graphs and getting the linotype and the pages printed out, and then you'd cut them and wax and put, and then we finally got a computer, and that was like, oh,
dude, I remember, like this is like right when I started working there. Photoshop just came out with layers.
Yeah,
right. Like that's like the craziest thing to think about. Like, whoa, layers, and then the things you could do with that. It's just crazy to think about. But like, I think it's just funny because even back then, if you were to say, hey, Jace, like 20 years from now, you're going to be doing this thing called a podcast. They don't exist now. Right. But I'm going to be in LA, you're going to be in Chicago, and we're going to be able to see each other and talk at the same time. Be like, it's not Star Trek. What are you talking about? So it's just amazing. It's pretty cool that we are. Yeah, this is an insane time, but the fact that we are able to communicate with each other is.
I think the hottest. I think the hottest piece of communication technology at that time was like the Nextel 2-ways.
What is that?
Where you'd have the phone, it would be like a phone, like a flip phone, but then you like, if you had people on your network that were on your 2-way network, you could like a walkie-talkie almost.
Oh, oh, I remember.
Like that was like the big deal. Like,
I do remember. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's funny, man. It's weird. Like, it's I don't know. It's strange. It's like the zip disk. I remember like the zip disk, it went away with the pagers, I think. But like this is the perfect time. I think I was listening to Joe Rogan or someone recently. I think it was Joe Rogan talking about like, this is terrible. This is really, really bad, for a lot of reasons. But this is still the best time to be alive as a human ever. There's never been a better time to be alive than now.
Yeah.
So try to keep that into perspective. I mean, if you think about 100 years ago, it was pretty shitty. Like, it was pretty crazy.
I mean, it wasn't that great 30 years ago.
Yeah, that's true too.
I mean, just think about it in terms of this. Like, I'm working on some new songs, and I usually like demo them out myself. I don't play all. I mean, I play all the instruments on the demo. But now I can record these songs and then go, all right, this is close enough. I want my bass player to put something on it now. I'll send him the project file. He puts a bass line on there and sends it back to me. And it's like,
oh yeah,
it's like that's unheard of 30 years ago.
Oh yeah, that's amazing.
So like, I'm still able to like work on new material on a pretty high level.
Yeah, that's incredible. Brian Gray was talking to me recently. He wants to do another Left Out album, and so I was like, he wants to do like a short EP or something. I was like, oh, that'd be fun, man. It's been a long time, but that'd be fun. And he started sending me some demos, or not even demos. It's going to be actual tracks.
Right. Yeah.
And Brent lives in somewhere in I think LA or somewhere in California, but he's doing all his bass lines and sending them back, and they sound amazing. And it's like, this is crazy. You don't need to go into this crazy studio. And I mean, it's just weird.
It just happened to me the other day. I sent the full, like, all my tracks, like drums, organs, guitars, vocals, sent that whole project file to my bass player. He sent it back with the finished bass line. Then you're just like tweaking and mixing, and
that's awesome.
It's crazy.
Now, speaking of, like, when you had a record that came it came out not that long ago, right?
Yeah, it was officially released January 31st, I think.
Oh wow, okay. I know you did some of the recording with JD in Chicago, but did you do that kind of stuff on that album, like where you had to like record in bits and pieces and kind of put it all together? And
yeah, how all that went down is like I had been wanting to record. I mean, this story goes back because I had a collection of songs, more than actually made the album, but I had this collection of songs. I've been playing around LA with a band that I had, and I finally wanted to like record the album. I started recording with this other guy, and then this is like the story of my life. Got too busy. He got too busy. He was in another band as well, and so basically he was like, I can't help you. So and that's after we had recorded a good portion of the album, maybe 6 songs. You know, started on like 6 or 7 songs.
Oh.
So then I was like, all right, what's next? And then I got a hold of JD, who was like, JD's a longtime friend of mine back to high school and all that stuff. So we keep in contact, and he was like, oh yeah, I'm finishing up my studio. And I'm like, you're finishing your studio? I'm like, well, what if I fly out to Chicago for like 10 days and like get this, at least the majority of this project recorded? He was like, yeah, that'd be great. So he sort of is like the co-producer on the album, and he helped me. I flew out there for like 10 days, and we were able to get like all the drum tracks, a lot of the guitars, and some of the bass. Some of I had to redo out here. But then he even after that process, and the idea was that we would still be working on things, them in Chicago and me here doing vocals and stuff, because I wasn't able to do them there. And then he kind of ran into some like financial trouble with his job and his family and whatever, and he's like, I feel bad, but I can't help you finish this anymore. And I was like, okay, great. So I was like, all right, well, just send me everything we got. And that's when I got my major like production training, because I was like, all right, well, how do we do that when you're not a wealthy person that can just go get studio time and do whatever? So I bought some gear, bought a really nice microphone, a couple nice microphones, and just set to doing it myself, and turned out pretty good. I got a bass, like I said, my bass player out here, he helped me finish some of the stuff that wasn't finished or wasn't what I wanted, because I wasn't able to communicate with the bass player out there all the time. So some of the stuff came back, and it wasn't really the feel of what I do. So yeah, between him and me, I finised all the other guitar, made some changes, edited, chopped. I really learned music production really quickly.
Kind of have to jump into it.
Yeah, I mean, there was some pretty intense stuff too. Like, times I'm like, oh, what am I doing? I don't even know what I'm doing. Like, it finally was able to finish it. I think it sounds pretty good. We mixed and mastered it ourselves and put it out. And so far
that's
so
awesome. Good. And I'm assuming you did all the artwork for it as well.
Yeah.
There's I recognize that slick looking stuff. You've always been awesome artist. So it's like, I mean, that's a perfect like storm of, creativity when it comes to like someone like you that's doing music, but you're also able to, like, you're not just playing the music, but you're a writer, and then you're also an artist, so you can kind of compose things and everything. So it makes
you kind of control the narrative.
Yeah.
And
not everybody.
But that's how I've always been, though. Like, even back in magazine days, like, I wasn't satisfied just doing the magazine. Like, I had to publish my own comic book. So then I'm like, all right, I'm going to learn how to draw comic books. And then,
I remember that.
Yeah, I published like 4 or 5 comics before I realized this is too hard by myself.
It's a lot.
So
that's funny. Yeah, that's true.
But I was always trying to do something bigger than my station or whatever. So
yeah.
I've always been that sort of person to, like, keep pushing myself and learn something new and, you know.
Well, I think that you've got to, you know, I think that's just like, I mean, I don't know. I think that's the way just an artist's mind works, really, just because, you know, it's hard to feel satisfied with, like, I'm not satisfied with just illustrating things or, you know, like, you gotta kind of dip your toe into things. Otherwise you start to, I don't know. I think a danger for artists is, becoming stagnant. That kind of, like, if you get too comfortable, I think that's a bad thing for an artist, you know.
What is that? Mediocrity is the death of art, or something like that.
Yeah, and I feel like some of us understand that, where you just feel like, dude, like, I'm like a shark, man. I gotta keep swimming.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta keep swimming. If I can't just sit here like this.
Yeah, it's like your lifeblood to, like, create something.
Yeah. Hey, this is totally.
And that's why, like, the Instagram concerts and stuff.
Well, that's perfect for now. Yeah.
Too, because it's like, oh, all right, I got nothing to write today. Let me just play, sing, you know.
Were you getting requests and things like that, or do you kind of just play whatever you felt like? Or
I feel like, if I got requests,
it's got a weird noise.
Like, play Billie Eilish or whatever. nothing against Billie Eilish, but I'm not interested in, like.
I keep getting a weird buzz in my. Do you hear a buzz?
I don't have a buzz.
Okay. Oh, that's weird. Maybe it's just something on my end. Maids could be here in the building. They have these, like, women that come into my building and vacuum in the stairs.
Yeah.
So that might be what I'm hearing. I don't know. Anyways,
or maybe it's my computer. I don't know.
Which we talked about you maybe playing some songs. Would you be up for doing one right now? And then
sure.
Talk again in a little bit.
Yeah, let's see what we can do.
It'd be awesome to hear something.
This is it's the first song off the album called I Don't Live Here. Or, yeah, I Don't Live Here. Damage is already done. It's easy to hide. on the album, there's more horns and stuff. But
that's awesome. Oh, that's cool, man.
Thanks, man.
That's awesome. Oops, here we go. Make sure my... Yeah, that's cool. Thanks for doing that, man. That's awesome. So, when you basically what you have this album done, it came out in January. You said, what was the overall goal with it? Like when you come out, like have you started touring with it and stuff before all this crap happened, or do you have you just trying to do local LA type shows for now and see what happens?
Any and all of it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess
you start local and then
you get to play live, because it would be cool to see that, to see the whole.
Oh man, the live is going to be great. I got a lot of good musicians working with me, and we were rehearsing a lot before the Corona stuff. Excuse me. And I was getting super excited about it, but then, yeah, and Corona hit, so. Who knows? Who knows?
That's gonna be the common theme for everything. I finally
it's like a meteor.
I finally made it into the NBA, and then fucking Corona.
Yeah.
It's gonna be everything. I mean, I'm not really a big sports guy, but I was thinking about this the other day, and are all the stats out the window now? You know what I mean? Because it's going to be shut down for so long. When it comes back to playing football, is he good anymore? How do we know?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Who's good anymore?
Because they're all going to be on that level. So I think it's just that scale, whatever.
Everything's going to go way down.
Who's working out during Corona? That's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Who's keeping their skills up?
Yeah. Oh man, it's such a weird thing, man. How have your kids been doing with all this stuff?
Pretty good.
Or just in life in general. I mean.
Yeah, one lives with me. He still hasn't graduated. He'll graduate this year sometime or early next year.
Oh, cool.
So he's here. He's doing good. And then my older one is out on his own now. He kind of he moved to Texas to live with some friends of his, and then he does a lot of online social media, TikTok, Twitch streaming sort of. He's gotten pretty big in that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think he's got 1.5 million followers on TikTok or whatever, and I don't know what his Instagram is.
I'm not really. What is TikTok? Everyone keeps talking. I've heard a little bit about it, but
it's sort of like what Vine was.
Oh, okay.
It's like the upgraded version of Vine. People edit videos
yeah, it's like a video thing. Okay. TikTok.
But you can do live streaming on there too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my daughter talks about TikTok all the time. I'm like,
it's a big deal.
I know what you're talking about.
So yeah, he's gotten kind of semi-big in that world. But he was out in LA shooting with some friends of his, and when basically everything kind of shut down, so now he's kind of stuck out here.
Oh, really?
I think him and his friends are planning on getting a house out here somewhere. So.
Oh, that's cool.
At least he'll be back close to me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a win-win. Something's good come out of Corona. Yeah. You know, my wife was not looking forward to going to a certain birthday party. For a certain kid's birthday party, and then Corona happened, and nobody had to go to the birthday party, and it was just that's a bummer, So, got to think positive.
Yeah, small wins.
Yeah, small wins. Try to think positive about this. So, have you been doing? I know you moved out to LA to do acting and stuff, right? Yeah. At first, do you still do any of that, or is that something you still do? What kind of stuff have you been doing as far as that goes? Because that's and you got your fingers in lots of pots.
Yeah, not lots of pot, but lots of pots. I mean, the acting thing it's a little different because, that's why I sort of also lean heavier on music too, because some of that's in my control. I can record in my house. I can write in my house. I can distribute digitally, you know, on all the Spotify's and the iTunes and all, like I can do all that from my home.
Yeah.
And nobody can tell me that I can't do it. So, whereas acting is such a grind. Like, if you're an actor, unless you have the fortune of getting a series regular role or something, or you're an A-list, you know, somebody that's been around, like it's just a hustle, like, to get anything.
Yeah.
It's not easy, and I've been fortunate. I've done some things, but it doesn't stop it from being difficult.
Yeah.
So it's not a reliable thing for me, at least not at this point.
Yeah. I've heard before that it's more like hurry up and wait type of a thing too. Like when you're working on something, you get a part or something in, and you just kind of sit around. Oh, like
if you're actually on the set?
Yeah, if you're actually doing something, it's just like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's one thing that's awesome about you though, is that you have so many different things that you're doing. Not your fingers in lots of pots. But yeah, again, that goes back to just the whole creative side of things, where you know you know, I mean, I like I said, I met you when I was 18, and you were doing comic stuff, you were doing music stuff then, and you started getting to the acting stuff. You're doing graphic design. You used to be in a rap band.
Yeah.
And you were like a rap dancer in a rap band way back in the day. So I mean, like,
that started as a dancer.
Yeah, you started off as a dancer.
Yeah.
Like you were like, I just always thought, oh, he's like the closest I'll ever get to knowing Vanilla Ice. I don't know. But
I was better.
Yeah, I mean, you've done way better. But you've done so many things in creatively. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty epic. But
sometimes I wish I'd focus on one thing so I could be like the master of the one thing.
Yeah, but you know what?
Like, I know you're branching out into like the comedy stuff, which is awesome. I love to see it. I can't wait to see some of your video as soon as you get it. But like, I've even said that about you. Like, man, look at how far he's come in his artwork. And I tell, like, this is the guy that I know that I feel like is a master at what he does.
Oh, well, thanks, man.
Because there's no denying it. And looking at that painting behind you, it's amazing.
Oh, thanks.
But yeah, I've often wished like I could focus on one thing, and I don't know if I'm ADD or like I just need to have my hands in a bunch of, you know, different things. But I've never been able to, like, all right, this is the only thing I'm doing, and I'm just going to be really darn good at it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's possible, man, because like the same thing. Like, I mean, I don't just focus on my illustration stuff. Like, I mean, I did the music thing for years. I still I would love to do more. It's just really difficult. Yeah. I think with the comedy thing, just like what you're saying, with you can write music and do everything at home. When you do comedy, it's just you.
Yeah.
Like, it's just me. It's just what I write and what I do. And the only thing I have to do is have enough balls to get out there on a stage and see if it works. And
it's
if it
no
doesn't,
different for me in music, though.
Yeah, it's the same thing. You have your own control.
Like,
you just do it. And
when it's my music, it's just me.
Yeah.
I mean, I think eventually I have a band backing me and stuff, and people that support me. But there's a lot of nights that you're just at your computer, or however you write notepads or whatever, that you're just you and the guitar, and you're there, and you know, I don't have writing partners, so to speak.
Yeah, and that's the thing, though, is but I think there's like a freedom there, though, right? Where you because you don't have to have, like, even like when I'm doing like illustration work and stuff, I have to do what people want me to do for the most part, and that's pretty much what that's pretty much every day. But there's something about like having this. I think that's why, you know, having something like the comedy is like an outlet to like release some creativity a little bit. You know, it's basically just one way to creatively jerk off. You know, and I think that's like beneficial you know, for you as a person, as an artist, you know.
For sure.
But, you know, I don't know. I don't think it's interesting that what you brought up. Like, you know, I don't know if I'm spreading myself too thin, maybe, right? With like not focusing on one thing, but there's been like a sort of an argument or debate I've heard with illustrators for years that like, is it best to be known, to be able to pinpoint this one artist as one particular style, right? Mm-hmm. One medium that they've mastered, whether it's like an oil or digital or whatever it is. And it's interesting because in one way I want to tell people that yes, because you don't want to confuse art directors, because art directors don't, you know, you could do an amazing painting of an apple and then an art director will ask you, that's so amazing, that's the best apple I've ever seen, but can you paint an orange? Right? Yeah. And it's just like, of course I can paint an orange, but they don't know that because they haven't seen you paint an orange. So like it's best as an illustrator to
that's like acting.
Yeah, like it's so frustrating.
Like, that thing you did was great, but can you do comedy?
Yeah.
Like, can you play this part? I'm like, yeah, I could play that part. Give me a shot.
So weird. It's so weird. It's like, you know, wait a minute, but I haven't seen you do that. Well,
right.
Yeah, that's why you hire me, and then I'll do it. You got to pay me first. But that's the thing is like, I think it's important though, as an artist, to be able to do all the different things, you know, to be able to, you know, for example, with illustration, to be able to draw, to be able to paint, to be, you know, with using acrylics, oils, whatever it is, inks, to be able to understand how to do that, it's never going to be harmful to you as an artist, right?
Sure, yeah.
But like, you should have like even if you, oh, it's okay. But even if you work and you have a bunch of different techniques, it's okay. If you have a bunch of different techniques, but you still have the same voice, like your same voice comes across.
Right.
You know, that's the thing that's important. You know, and so I think artistically spreading yourself thin in a way, I think could be a good thing as long as you are, you know, well, basically, let's put it this way. Ever since I've known you, you have been doing a lot of different things, but you always like pretty much succeed at them. Like you always do really well at them. Like even fucking video games. Like I remember like you and Thor and you guys would like play video games, and it was you've always been like super competitive. That and like what's it called, paintball. Like you're gonna be like the best paintball guy.
Yeah.
Like so you have that drive in you to like whatever you're doing, you're gonna like push yourself to that limit. So
it's a curse.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's also I think a survival tactic. You know, like, you know, why do something if you're not going to put everything into it? Like, for example, like you and your music. I know your dad. I've known him for a long time. Super insanely talented musician. And you as his son, I'm sure there's had to be that feeling of my dad's this amazing musician and singer-songwriter. Like, if I'm going to jump into that, I need to represent, right? Have you ever had that feeling at all? I have that.
maybe musically.
Yeah.
Not necessarily lyrically. No, I don't mean that's not a slight to anybody. I just felt like I felt like yeah, I know it sounds like a slight, but it's not. He's a fine lyricist, but I've never looked at myself at my lyrics and gone, it's just not that good.
Yeah.
I always feel like
more natural for you, the lyrics.
Yeah, I mean, I was writing, and I mean, I think that was like my strongest class in school was creative writing and poetry and things like that. Like I've been doing that, and then even when I was writing like the rap music and stuff, like say what you want to about it, but that's some wordplay that goes into.
Dude, I had the album. I loved it.
Well, I'm not taking responsibility for that whole album, but but I will stand by my verses.
That's so funny. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying because, like, for me, the same thing. Like, all I've ever known my entire life was drawing because I grew up. My dad's an artist, and so I just grew up in like. And people always think, oh, no wonder you can draw and paint the way you do because your dad's like, no, my dad didn't teach me how to do that.
Right.
I grew up around it, so I was influenced, right?
Sure,
but I went completely my own way with it. But I always had that pressure because my dad like won all these national awards and different things with his art. And when I was a kid, I just had this like you know, you do drawings in grade school and they put your drawings up in the hallway. If my drawing didn't get picked to hang in the hallway, I felt like a failure, you know, like, like how come my drum, like, and I would work even harder. You know what I mean? Like, it was just one of those things where I put the pressure on myself, I think. So I was just wondering, like, musically, like when you were younger, maybe, but you definitely have your complete, it's interesting though, now thinking about this, both your dad and you, I hear a lot of similar influences. Like, I think I can tell like some influences musically that you guys might share together. But you've always like taken music to a completely different type place with it, you know? Like, there was a time I think I remember you were doing stuff years ago that I don't know how to explain. It reminded me a little bit of Beck a little bit, maybe. Had that kind of, and it was like, it sounded so good. It was like I remember once
I was like coming out of like the rap stuff, and then I was like, well, I want to get back to my roots because even though I was doing the rap stuff, I was still listening to like Bob Dylan and you know those guys. So then I was like, all right, I'm gonna kind of like blend the two, and this is before that was kind of a deal. Like, that's it might have been before like even Beck stuff. And
I mean
that stuff started getting big, but
I mean, I remember like. Because I didn't know you really. It was funny. I didn't know you did music. I knew all the other stuff. I mean, I knew you did like the rap stuff before, but I didn't know like that you play guitar and like sang and stuff. And I think it was like I remember someone saying, "Oh, Noah's band is practicing or whatever in the practice room." It was like this is so long ago. I remember I went and like watched, and I was like, "What the heck? This is so good." I think you had
Who was in there? John Hanson, probably.
Man, I don't remember. All I remember is you had like this. I think I don't know if it was a Gretsch or something like kind of red looking
that
guitar.
Old Pass,
Yeah, I remember that, and I remember thinking, "Damn, this is good." Like it sounded like I wasn't expecting like it to sound that way. Like it just sounded like it definitely reminded me of like it never left my mind. Like it sounded very Beck-like, that kind of sound.
Sure.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see that evolution.
Come a long way since then.
Yeah, but I mean, we all have. Yeah. Like, I mean, like when you first met me, I was just like I was drawing and all the time. I didn't know how to paint yet, and I was experimenting with pen and ink and color pencils and trying to figure things out. And I remember at one point you were doing like this. You were kind of my mentor at the magazine, like trying to teach me stuff. And you were doing like this. You had this idea to do an animal comic. And I was like, oh, I can draw animal stuff. So I started doing all these like animal characters and showing you all like pen and inking them. And, gave me something to do on my off time. And so, but like when you first met me, I was like 18, just trying to figure out like I could draw, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know where to take it, and I had a lot of developing to do, you know. So I mean, we all start there, you know. There's no. I don't believe in prodigies. Not like that. You know what I mean? Maybe Picasso. I don't know. But I mean, like those people that say like you're born talented. I think you're born maybe motivated, or maybe you've got a passion or a drive. But like it takes so much work to develop in so many years to get to a place where you can even kind of feel like, oh yeah, I think I'm an artist. You know? It's not something you just, you know. I don't know.
No, but some people have like a knack for it. Like it just seems to come easier to them.
Yeah.
I'm not taking anything away from the hard work that goes into what they do, but.
Well, that's why I said Picasso. Have you seen his paintings from when he was like 12? Dude.
No.
They're like when he was 12, he was doing like master oil paintings. Like they're super realistic master oil paintings. And if you saw them, you wouldn't believe a 12-year-old did them. And then he's known for like, you know, his
weird stuff,
like abstract and everything else. Two brush strokes and a nipple, and it's worth $1 million. But no, the reason he did that stuff is because he could do anything he wanted.
Sure.
And he was probably bored, you know. I don't know. So anyways, if you're up for it, I'd love to. If you want to do another song, you know, something Beck-like maybe. No, just kidding.
Okay.
Do you know anything like two turntable microphone? No, but yeah, it would be awesome.
In the time of chimpanzees, I was a monkey.
Yeah,
man. It was a perfect complication. We were lost in conversation. We were climbing, came and went. It wasn't in the plan. We didn't give a damn how time would spend. And baby, I believed you when I told you that I need you. You knew exactly what I meant. In my cold night, can't touch me now. Looking in your eyes on the couch where we sit, and I'm trying to capture all those secret syllables as they tumble from yours. And I'm trying to pay attention, but it's only fair to mention I was thinking about your kiss, my cold night. You can't touch me now. Oh, 'cause baby, it's cold outside. It gets so hot in here. Baby, it's cold outside. I don't want to disappear. Baby, it's cold outside. I just want to hold you in. So can I stay? Till my night is gone. Somehow I made it to your doorway. You were standing there before me, tugging on my sleeve. Well, I like the way you look at me, so magnetically. You said, I want you to know, I don't want you to go. And I said, hey, I don't want to leave. Then I stayed. Oh, till my night is gone. Well, there ain't no disguise the fire in your eyes or the warmth of your face. And I don't want to be apart from the beauty of your heart or the sunshine in your embrace. But it kills me now, baby, that I've got to leave this place. Can I stay? Till my night
Nice.
That was a version of "Till My Night Is Gone" from the album.
Oh, that's awesome. Thanks, man. That's really cool. Yeah. You'd said before that on the last song you played, you said that it's missing horns. So you have like a horn section as well on some of the songs.
Some of them have some horn. I didn't actually have horn players. I get horn accompaniment with keyboards.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say,
but like, they sound really good though.
Oh, that's awesome. I was gonna say, like, that's an arrangement. That's gotta be like, how many people actually play on the album? Like, did you end up having to play a lot of the parts? And
played a lot of the parts, but there was also a lot of other people. JD played some drums. His son, JD Jr.
Yeah,
played a lot of drums, guitars.
It's awesome.
I played a lot of the guitars, the harmonicas, did all the keyboards. Just a few different. Karo Tarosian is my bass player. Played about half the album. Then Dan Larson and Nathaniel. I can't remember his last name.
Ratcliffe.
Yeah.
that Ratcliffe
and
guy?
Benedict Cumberbatch. Yeah. He played on one song. Nathaniel played on one song, and then the other guys kind of split the rest of it as far as the bass work goes. But all guitars, all the rhythm guitar work was pretty much me. Some of it was JD Jr., and he played about half the leads, and I played half the leads.
Oh, that's awesome. Man, that kid's talented, man.
Yeah, he's so talented.
Yeah, he's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I was just thinking about that. I'm like thinking, because when you said the horn thing, I was thinking about while you're playing this last song. I was trying to imagine like a horn section. It's like I could hear that, man. I'm like, but how do you?
Oh yeah, my dad played on it too.
Oh, did
he? Yeah, he played mandolin on that song.
Oh, cool.
And he also did the background vocals with me.
Oh, cool. That's
so
awesome.
We did some harmonizing on that one.
Oh, sweet. That's awesome. Yeah, man. You got no excuses, man. I'm just kidding. that's my inner voice. Yeah. No, like no joking aside though, like that was something for me as a kid growing up. That kind of a feeling of, I don't know. I don't know about how you with your kids, because I know you've got 2 kids.
Yeah.
I've taken that experience, which I think was a good thing for me. It helped me become who I am, but I don't necessarily want my kids to have to go through that kind of a thing, and so I tend to like not push
as far as
just like pushing,
feeling the pressure of a successful parent.
Well, just like be who you want to be. And what is it that you want to? What are you interested in?
Yeah.
Like I'm not a huge sports person, but if one of my kids was like into like soccer, I'd be like at every game and support everything they do.
Sure.
But like, for example, my oldest Isabeau, she's going to like an art high school right now, with JD's daughter,
nice.
And it's everything kind of specializes around the arts, whether it's theater or drawing, painting. So it's really cool.
I would have killed to go to a place like that.
Oh, I know. It's awesome. It's so awesome. But it's just funny because I stay out of it. I helped her, put together some art so she could get in and everything. Like help make sure that she did her assignments and stuff. But like, what I'm saying is like I stay out of it. Like,
yeah.
She told me. She doesn't tell me much. She doesn't tell me anything, hardly. Like, I'll pick her up from school. How was school today? Yeah.
Yep.
What'd you do today? Yeah, nothing. Yeah. Did you have gym class today? Yeah. What'd you guys do? Yeah. It's like, okay, whatever. And then she's like, one day she's like, oh, man, I'm just feeling super stressed out. I've got like this portrait due in this class. I have to draw this portrait, and I've been working on it. And I'm having such a hard time, and I just can't seem to get it right. And I don't understand, and the teacher's not very helpful. And she's going on and on and on. I'm just like, like, you know where I live.
Yeah, right.
Like I'm here when you're ready. But like I kind of also feel like There was one assignment I helped her with where I feel like by the end of it, I did the whole drawing, like, but I was trying to like show her things. I was trying to teach her like measurements and like talk about lighting and edges and different things. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, I just like drew a whole person for you. But like I try to like not put that pressure where like if like I don't want them to think that they have to like live up to a certain standard or something. For me to have their approval, you know what I mean? Like, and I don't even think my dad had that on me. I put that on myself. So that's why I was asking you, like, because you're doing your music and your dad's been a successful musician. He's done tons of albums and stuff. So it's just an interesting dynamic, I think.
Yeah, my parents have always been supportive of. Whatever. I mean, I think that's one of the great things about them is that they never really. They never really like said I should be doing any one particular thing, but have always been supportive of even big moves like moving to Hollywood to try to get in the acting game, which is scary, but.
Well, they obviously believed in it.
I mean, I remember I think I asked my dad to teach me guitar or something, like when I was young, and he's like, I don't think you'll stick with it. I was like, oh, okay.
That's hilarious, man.
I don't know if I've like if I've made that memory up, but I feel like that's like I feel like being told like, you won't stick with it.
That's just I can hear your dad saying that. Early on, my dad, when I was probably in 7th grade or something, I asked if he could teach me how to paint, and he was a youth pastor at the time, and did his art at the same time and everything. And he sat me into this room in the bottom of the church. There's like an extra room, and he got a plate he put black paint and white paint on it. He set a duck decoy like on the table, and he said, paint that. And that's all he said. That's all he did. I was like, how is this teaching me how to do anything? And I'm like, I got so frustrated. It felt like wax on, wax off shit. It's like like he was trying to teach me like values are important and you need to learn and understand values first. But he didn't he just kind of put I think he was just like, hey, I got stuff to do, do this. But I never forgot that. I always felt like, oh man, this painting thing is so hard, and I gotta paint a decoy, and it was just such a weird situation. But I have a really funny story real quick about your dad. Long time ago. So your parents used to come, their band, your dad's band would tour, and they would stay at my parents' house when I was a kid. And I didn't know that your dad didn't have legs. I didn't know that. I had no idea. And so your dad and your mom were staying downstairs in our basement, and they had I think a mattress down there or whatever. And I had to go downstairs to get something, and I go downstairs and I see your dad, his hair's all down, long hair, and no shirt, just little pants, and he's walking around on no legs. And I freaked out and ran up the stairs because I didn't know who it was. I was like, what is this scary looking little person downstairs in the basement? It was really, and he was walking really fast on no legs. And I ran upstairs. I'm
chasing you up the stairs on all fours.
But it was just crazy because I
falling out of a TV like The Ring.
I remember being completely freaked out. And then later, when they came upstairs, I don't know if my parents said something or whatever, but your dad told me some crazy some made up story, some weird thing that I don't even remember now, but I just remember thinking that was so weird. I had no idea. I knew of him for years. I never knew that, So that was just hilarious. I think he did tell me a funny story about how one time he was playing football and someone tackled him and they pulled one of his legs off, and he was just like, "Oh, what did you do?" Or something.
I remember that.
So funny, man. But anyways, dude, It's been so awesome, like catching up with you. It's been like so many years, and I appreciate you playing some music. It's so awesome, and just hearing about the whole process of it is pretty cool. But before we get going on, can you let people know how they can get a copy of this? The CD and like anything they can do to, like, I don't know if you got any other like merch or anything, but anything that can help, especially at this time, what's going on with artists and musicians. If you can check out Noah's site, listen to his music, support him, that would be so awesome. But anyway, take it away.
Well, as far as like getting the actual physical copy of the CD, I'm going to be setting that up on my site. I don't have any way to do that right now. I have a bunch of them sitting here, but at thenoahbenjamin.com is my website. You can sign up for the mailing list there and keep up with information that I keep posted on there. And eventually I'll have a way that you can order a physical copy of the CD. Other than that, you can buy it on iTunes. Just search for Noah Benjamin. It should come up, or anywhere you purchase music.
Yeah.
It's on all the streaming places too. So you can follow me at the _ Noah Benjamin. What's my
what, Instagram?
What's my Instagram, yeah. Always forget.
Yeah, it's the _ Noah Benjamin. Yeah.
The _ Noah Benjamin is my Instagram, and that's where I've been posting news, and it's pretty much the only one I really keep up with. And you might catch live stuff there too. Been doing
No, that's awesome. Definitely give him a follow because he's been playing live and it's pretty cool. And like I said, everyone that's watching this, definitely try to support your artists if you can. I know a lot of you that are listening are artists, so you know what's going on. And thanks again, Noah, for doing this.
Yeah, man, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Really cool to catch up. And everybody out there, stay safe, be smart, love on one another, because this is a crazy time. Be patient.
Yes.
Help an older person if you can, and
help any person if you can.
Yeah, anybody, but especially the elder people.
For sure.
There's been I think it's a
check on your family. Call them, call your friends and family. Make sure they're okay. Like.
Yeah, we've been doing like the FaceTiming and stuff like that, trying to have the grandkids talk with the grandparents and stuff. But this is just a crazy time. We're all going through it. We're all dealing with it. That's one thing. In a way, it's kind of an eerie thing, but it's sort of comforting at the same time because we all can relate to this. We all get it. So, anyways, be good. And dude, it's so awesome catching up with you.
Absolutely. And thanks for having me.
We'll talk soon, everybody.
For sure.
You want answers? The truth shall set you free. I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.